No debates, no arguments. Today's video is about 10 Black books that I will never stop loving. But I don't want this to be one-sided. Drop down in the comments and let me know which books are you standing 10 toes down on. Don't tell anybody. They might wind up in my TBR. Let's get into it. My name is Raquel. Welcome and welcome back. So these are 10 books that I absolutely love. I will never stop reading these books. These books I have read multiple times. That's how much I love them. So let's get into it. So book number one is called Night Wherever They Go. It is by Tracy Rose Payton. And this is about a plantation that is in financial ruins. The owner of the plantation, they call him and his wife the Lucys. And the reason why they call him the Lucys is because they feel like he is Lucifer. Of course, they call him that behind their backs. But he gets some advice from his brother-in-law to breed the enslaved women. However, the enslaved women find out that this is what he wants to do. They come together and they make the decision that they are not going to have children. And in quiet resistance, they don't. So on this plantation, there are no children being born. He brings in what they call a stockman. A stockman is the person they bring in to have intercourse with these women in order to impregnate them. And like, it doesn't matter what he does, they've made the decision. So they have a couple different workarounds for them not to become pregnant. But what I love about this is the resistance. I think a lot of times people think, and even I myself, don't see a lot of different aspects of what happened at the time. It could be easily thought that uh, my ancestors went along with, everything that happened. But this is proof to me that they did not go along. They resisted in ways that were not just something you could see with the naked eye. And I love this book. Book number two is the Animal series, which is urban fiction. This is my top urban fiction series, hands down. So I found this series through a free book called The Leak. It is our introduction to Animal. This is where he meets his mentor, whose name is Tech. And Tech meets him because Tech is coming out of a club. He's been drinking and he's not watching his back. These two guys who have been bullying Animal for quite some time attack Tech. And Animal, for no reason other than to get back at them, helps Tech out. So Tech in turn starts to help Animal. Mind you, he's a child living on the streets. So he has to, try and find somewhere to sleep at night. He has to try and find food. He's very unclean, hair not combed, like the whole nine, like a homeless kid. Tech takes him under his wing. Now, Tech is a D boy. And so this is how he is mentoring him, how to make money, how to take care of himself. Animal then grabs a group of other kids who have sort of like the same background as he does, and they all take care of each other and call each other family. But this is everything urban fiction. I'm talking about drugs, um, the money, the thievery, like everything that goes along with urban fiction is in this. It is a series of 5 books. They start out in New York. At one point, they're in South America. They've got this Illuminati ish type group that they are fighting. You have different characters come in and out of the book. It is a great series. Animal meets his dad. Like, it's a great series. It is. And like I said, hands down, this is the best. I put Quan in the same realm of writing as Jaquavis and Ashley Antoinette. And that's just where I put them. Um, Book number 3, which is historical fiction. And this one is called Perfect Peace. It is by Daniel Black. Now, I was in a book club some years ago, and this was one of the books we read. This book blew me off my seat. It is possibly the book that really got me into historical fiction. It is about a family. Uh, can't remember their names, but there's a mother and a father, and they have several kids, but all of the children are boys. So the mom gets pregnant and she's really, really hoping for a girl. The dad, he just kind of like, it's going to be another boy, so whatever. He not even interested in the pregnancy, the baby, nothing. He just ain't worried about it because he feels like it's going to be a boy. If I'm not mistaken, they have like 6 or 7 boys already. So she has the baby, and what do you know? It's a girl until it's not. So she has this baby and decides that she wants a girl so bad that she makes the baby a girl. Could you imagine being told that you're something that you're not, and then later on finding out it's something different, something as deep and mental as your gender? And of course, it messes his head up. But this is a great book. It is very popular. I know a lot of people have read it, but this is the historical fiction that really got me into reading historical fiction some years ago. It also is the very first book I read by Daniel Black, and I loved it. Then we have Heaven Forbid, which is by Lutisha Lovely. This is Christian fiction. Not that it reads like Christian fiction. I had to go back and look at it like, is this Christian fiction? It is Christian fiction, but it is so funny. It will have your stomach hurting and tears coming out of your eyes. So it is about this church that is going down. They are losing their morals. There are secrets. There's gossip. Like, everything that's not supposed to be happening in the church is happening in this church. So this other bishop from another church is coming to get this church back in order. His name is Reverend Dr. O. Now, really, that's what they call him. He has this super long name. It's got like 4 titles and 4 names. I can't even remember the entire thing, but it's something like Bishop, Reverend, Dr. Obadiah, Malcolm, Jamal. I don't know. But he has this super long name. I'm telling you, this is so funny. Now, he's coming to the church in order to get them back in order. Why does he have more secrets than everybody in the church? It is hilarious. His wife, Maxine, she is like one of the mothers that everybody comes to and, try and get advice and different stuff like that. She is the biggest gossip. This is just a hilarious book. Then there's also another pastor and this lady named Passion. So Passion has been single and celibate, I believe, for like 5 years. And she is looking for a relationship, and she winds up with this pastor. Now, mind you, this is one book of a 8-book series. This is called the Hallelujah Love series. And in another book, you get Passion, and I can't remember the Reverend's name, but you get their story. That too is another great book. This entire series is great. I enjoyed it. And like I said before, whenever I really, really love a book, I'm going to buy it. So these books, all of these books, I definitely already have. It gives me comfort to know that I have them and I can reread them whenever I like. And like I said, I have read all of these multiple times. So the next book is The American Marriage by Tahiri Jones. And this book is so sad. This is the one that will pull tears from you. If you're the kind of person who cries, this one will tug at your heartstrings. It tugged at my heartstring like I might have had like a little tiny little itty bitty wetness right here, but I refused to. I had to suck it up, suck it up. I'm not a crier, but this book is so good. It is about a newlywed couple. So this is their first anniversary, and they have decided that they are going to go visit the parents of the husband. And they get into this disagreement because of something that's going on in their regular everyday life. And they are going to visit his parents. So they go visit his parents, and he is wanting to spend the night at or spend this vacation. I think it's a weekend at his parents' house. But of course, she's not comfortable in that way with his mom. She doesn't feel liked by his mom. So they decide to stay at a hotel. They get to this hotel. They wind up getting back into an argument that they were having before they left. He decides, I am going to take a break. I'm going to step outside and I'll be back. He steps outside. He comes back, wakes up in the morning, and the police are at the door. So now he is being imprisoned for something he did not do. Now, this story is so sad. I feel like everybody lost. She lost her husband, the parents. Like, I feel like everybody lost. This is such a great story. It's very sad. I feel like for me, it's very sad because I could literally see something like this happening in real life. So it does like kind of touch me. It didn't make me cry. I like I said, I sucked it up. But other than that, this is a really great book. And oh my God, I don't know. I think I've listened to this at least 5 times. Um, and then next, we have Further Than I Meant to Go, Longer Than I Meant to Stay. Now, this one is Christian fiction, and it is by Tiffany L. Warren. So, this one is another sad story. It is about mental health. So, you have this very beautiful woman who is overweight, and she has been overweight her entire life. And you have people out there who give you those backhanded compliments like you're pretty for a fat girl. So those are the types of things that she's heard all of her life. But she has all the things. She has the money, the car, the house, the good job. She's a president of a bank as a woman. And so she's got all the things, but it's super hard for her to find a man. She has high standards, and she also has a little insecurity about her weight. There is some good stuff in here. Funny date scene. Um, yeah, scenes with her friends. So there's some good stuff going on. But she meets this guy who is like a handyman. He comes to her office to fix her office furniture. She winds up dating him. Now, two things are happening here. One, he is super fine, so he's like a trophy piece for her. But she's embarrassed by his job. He's a handyman, and she's the president of a bank. The problem is she all out loses her mind. And when I say she loses her mind, she literally loses her mind. when you are reading this story, you are actually hearing her talking to her therapist about her mental breakdown. You are also hearing the therapist walk her through her healing. And if you are the kind of person who likes Christian fiction that has scriptures in it, it definitely has scripture. But this is a really, really good book. I enjoy it so much. Another book I have read several times over. This is just a great book. It talks to, for me, it is kind of about how you can lose yourself as a woman in a man, because I believe she put him on a pedestal, and she knew within herself, even though she wouldn't admit it to herself, she knew that he didn't want her, he didn't love her, he was using her, like all the things. She knew it in the back of her head, but she would not allow herself to believe it because she wanted him. So all of the things that were happening, she allowed it to happen because she wanted him. It was really kind of a fair exchange. But when she loses her mind, I believe she loses her mind because she knows. And this is where it cracks. I love this book. It is so good. If you have not read this book, I would definitely recommend it. Um, if you love Christian fiction, this is a great true to Christian fiction story. It is about healing, it is about mental health, it is about faith in your walk. This is a beautiful book. I loved it. And then next we have Take My Hand, which is by Dolan Perkins Valdez. I just read this book, I believe, at the end of 2023. And this is another one of those books that will touch your heart and just about make you cry. You have to, brace yourself for this one as well. It is about two little girls who are being raised by their father and their grandmother. They are very poor, like poor where they talk about the floor inside of their house being made of dirt poor. And because they are so poor that they are getting assistance from the government, part of the assistance that they get from the government is reproductive health. And mind you, these girls are preteens, so and none of them are active in a way that they need really any reproductive health. If I'm not mistaken, you don't really need any of that kind of thing if you're not active physically, or unless you're about, I believe it's 15 or 16 years old. These girls are like 10 and 12 or 9 and 11, something like that. They're very young. And so there's this young lady who is very well to do, comes from a nice family. Her father's a doctor, her mother's an artist. She is just getting out of nursing school, and she goes to work at this clinic. And she is tasked with giving these girls their reproductive health shots. And she realizes that these girls are, you know, need more care than they're getting. So she goes out of her way to give these girls as much care as she can, to the detriment of her job. This is a story that is based on a true story. They are in Alabama. I believe it is the early 70s, but this is a really good book. And then another one of my favorite Christian fictions, it is called My Soul Cries Out. This is a series of two books. I can't remember the second one, but it is a series of two books. It is by Sherry Lewis. And My Soul Cries Out is about another newlywed couple. Now, here's a funny story. I remember getting this book off of Kindle years ago. Now, for me, I don't really care how old the book is. I care how good the book is. but at the time, I think it was new. So I get the book on Kindle the night before. I go to work. I get out my car. I am reading this book on my way to my locker. I get to the locker, and as soon as I get to the locker, when I'm about to put my book in there, it talks about this woman finding her husband in bed with another man. I'm like, what? Do you know I wound up late for work? Now I am inside the building at my locker. This book made me late for work. It is so good. So it is about a newlywed couple who go to church together. They are into the church. I believe he is like the choir director or something. They both have grown up in this church. They are close to the pastor. They have their entire church family. And so the pastor knows that the husband has had these experiences as a young person, but yet he encourages these two to get married. And once she finds out that he is inclined to be with men, and then she finds out that the pastor knew about it, it becomes a whole different other thing. And if you have ever experienced being hurt in church, that is a whole nother experience. And this is what is happening in this book. So if you don't know what church hurt is, it is basically when you go to church and you believe everything that you're being told, and your faith is, you know, coming from your teaching, and then you wind up seeing somebody doing something other than, especially somebody that you hold in high esteem, like maybe the pastor. It's like it is devastating. I have experienced it. It is devastating, and that is what happens in this book. Um, so because I mentioned that, I do want to say that you can forgive, you can move on, and you can, because what people do has nothing to do with your relationship with God. Okay, and my last book is called One Summer in Savannah. And this is another great book. So it is about a young lady who is attacked by this man in her hometown of Savannah. And once she is attacked, she leaves. She stays gone for many years. She goes to Maine, and her father takes ill. She has to come back and, care for her father, and take care of the business. The man who attacked her has a family. He also has a twin brother. So the mother of these twins, she does not hold her son accountable for what he did. I don't know if she doesn't believe he did it, or if she's just not holding him accountable. I don't really know. That is something you'd have to decide based on when you read the story. But she comes back into town, and she knows that so the twin brother left town because he got into it with his family because they would not hold his brother accountable. The brother goes to jail. So she knows that when she comes back, one brother is out of town. The guy who attacked her is in jail. So she feels safe to come back. She comes back and she bumps into the brother who she doesn't know which one of these guys it is, but she finds out that it's the brother because she also needs to speak with the family. They don't know that a child was born from this attack. It is a really great book. It turns out with a happy ending. Like it does. I like the ending. I thought it was a little weird, but I like the ending. It is just one of my favorite tropes. I love this book. So I think this was it 10 or was it 9? I think I gave you 9. The other one I was going to give was by Kimberly Lawson Roby. It's just that I could not figure out which one of her books I wanted to give, so I left it out. So at this point, we are going with 9 Black books that I will always love, and I'll be adding to it. But if you catch me on a different day, I could switch these books out easily. You guys know when you read books for years and years and years, it's hard to narrow down 10 books. So don't forget to drop down in the comments. Let me know what you're standing 10 toes down on. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and do all of the YouTube things like, comment, subscribe, and share. Until next time, see you soon.